One of the best things about teaching in the Holy Land is being able to take a day off at the beach. Salt! Where did the salt come from? The land of Israel is a land of incredible geographic complexity. I'm Jack Beck. I'm a Bible geographer, and I'm here in the Holy Land in order to explore all the geographical differences that this land has to offer. And I'm doing it as a Bible teacher because in order to best understand our Bible and the stories that only fit in the places that they occur, we're going to go on a trip that visits all sorts of different places in this region. Over this season of the Holy Land, we've explored Bible stories in 3 geographic regions as we've traveled down the Jordan River from its source. But what's surprising to most is how the Jordan completes its journey. Look at this. The Jordan River ends here, and there is no exit. This is the Dead Sea. And there is really no inland lake like it anywhere else in the world. First of all, it's low in elevation. Not just low, the lowest point you can be on the surface of the earth, 1,300 feet below sea level. It's also hot. The summer temperatures here average 100 degrees. And it's dead. Now that's not a very attractive name for a body of water, but it's completely accurate. And it's dead because of what I see all around me here. I don't know what your eyes are seeing, if this looks like snow or ice, but I'm walking on salt. This body of water is 10 times saltier than the ocean. And that means all the life that I'm used to seeing in an inland lake, fish and plants, they're just not here. And one more thing, this place doesn't change. It's been like this since the time of Abraham, and for 4,000 years, it's been what it was. And as I look to the future, all things being equal, I don't expect it to change. I could spend all day talking to you about the wonders of the Dead Sea. Its unique elevation, its temperatures, its water composition. There's so much that interests me here. But there's something else I want to share with you, and it's on the northwest side of the Dead Sea. It's this little ruin of Qumran. Our best guess is that a Jewish sect associated with the Essenes lived here. The thing that's most interesting to me about them is their literary output. They were producers and copiers of literature, putting it on scrolls. In fact, throughout this area, they stored their scrolls in caves. You might know them as the Dead Sea Scrolls. And behind me, Dead Sea Scroll Cave number 4. Letter by letter, and line by line, they copied the books of the Old Testament. The other writings of the Essenes reveal they were hoping for change through a deliverer, a messianic figure. The first scrolls were discovered in 1948, and what they revealed is the same truths that give hope for the future. I'm not able to take you to see the inside of Cave 4, but this is a pretty good substitute. You know, I've been in caves before, but this one's got sort of an eerie, surreal feeling to it. But I'm glad to talk to you about the Dead Sea Scrolls here. And just imagine the archaeologists coming into a space like this and discovering literature that actually allowed them to hear a voice from the past. Now that's what the Dead Sea Scrolls are. And among the Dead Sea Scrolls, we have copies of the books of the Bible that are in our Old Testament, including the book of Ezekiel. And here's what I find so compelling about this as I look out on the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea is mentioned rather infrequently in other books of the Bible. But when I come to Ezekiel 47, the Dead Sea isn't just mentioned, it becomes the point of focus. Now think about that. If something is mentioned infrequently and then becomes the point of focus, you know God has something important to say. Ezekiel, the prophet, wrote between 593 and 573 BC. God directed him to write about the judgment on God's people who were taken out of this land into exile. But Ezekiel also wrote about hope, a future hope that includes the restoration of all things, including the Dead Sea. We've explored this entire watershed together, from the Sea of Galilee to the Dead Sea. And you know what I'm most struck by? Every time Jesus stepped into one of these spaces, it got better. When we were up on Mount Hermon, we saw that Jesus clarified the identity of God. When we were in Galilee, we saw how expectations rose around him. At the Jordan River, we saw him enter into his public ministry. But what about this? This body of water is just as salty as it was at the time of Abraham. Well, listen to this. Ezekiel 47 says that what Jesus is doing is going to make this place change too. It's talking about a river of water that flows out of Jerusalem into the sea. This water flows toward the eastern region and goes down into the Arava, where it enters the Dead Sea. And when it empties into the sea, the salty water there becomes fresh. Swarms of living creatures will live wherever the river flows. There will be large numbers of fish because this water flows there and makes the salt water fresh. So where the river flows, everything will live. Jesus changes everything for the better. And even this Dead Sea will come to life under the power of his hand. Think of what he can do for me. When I look out into this lake basin, I don't see death. I see hope. Just like the Jordan, the Lord controls the flow of history to end our story where he intends. A place filled with peace and hope. And that's refreshing.